Welcome everyone to the week 3, well not the week 3 of the AAF Simulated on EA Sports. Already started this broadcast with a blip. Yippee. Anyways, we've got a great matchup for you, starting with an AAF West matchup, which we saw back in week 1. These teams already facing off. The 2-0 Salt Lake Stallions hosting the 1-1 Arizona Hotshots for their home opener. We look at the field right now. Salt Lake is ready to take the field, and this is going to be a really interesting game because back in week 1, I mean, this is right in hindsight. This is not like 5-6 weeks later. Right in week 1, just 2 weeks ago, Salt Lake was on the road against Arizona and beat them 38-6. It was an absolute blowout. If you didn't see that game, I mean, just from the get-go, Salt Lake's offense was absolutely dominating, and their defense was just completely shut down Arizona. It wasn't even close. Last week, though, Arizona looked better offensively and defensively, so we'll see what happens today. Right now, Stallions taking the field. They're just hyped. They are ready to go. Home opener. This home crowd could not be, I don't think they could be more excited than they are right now. The Salt Lake Stallions are 2-0, the last undefeated team in the Alliance of American Football Simulated Edition. So we'll see what happens today. It's going to be good. It should be intense, and I honestly think that today is going to be a closer game. At least I hope so. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Salt Lake really surprised us in week 2. Dominated Birmingham, and we're ready to go. Bertollet sends it away. And Justin Stockton will just take a knee in the end zone. So we're going to get a look right away at John Wolford, who has had an interesting kind of up and down. He was not very good in week 1. So far through the season, 28 for 44, 301 yards. He's thrown 3 touchdowns, but he also threw an interception, a pick 6. The one issue that he's had is pushing the ball down the field. He's missed guys deep quite a bit. We'll see what he can do. Rick Neuheisel, coach of the Hotshots, got to call some plays that gets his offense going right off the bat. 1st and 10, off-play action. Wolford, quick throw and nearly picked off. Beautiful defensive play there by the Stallions. Let's take a look at this Arizona Hotshot offense. The offensive line not been playing great. Wolford gets pressured a lot. Jarrell Presley not much to do. Presley, he struggled last week against Memphis, but then he had a 69-yard touchdown run right at the end of the game that put the game on ice. Meanwhile, you got Rashad Ross, Richard Mullaney, and Gerald Christian, who have all been making a pretty decent impact through the first couple of weeks. Arizona has a lot of offensive talent. They've got to find a way to put it together. Rick Neuheisel, he was able to do it last week against Memphis. They've got to start fast, though. They didn't start fast in the last 2 weeks. They've got to do it today. 2nd and 10. Good shot outside that's caught. Rashad Ross, but it only goes for a couple yards. Let's look at the Stallions defense. This defense has been absolutely superb. I mean, Darius Hamilton, Tenny Palaboy, he had 4 sacks in week 1. You look at Luke Carazola, Yanni Paul, and Greer Martini. These linebackers have been playing absolutely lights out. And they've got Steve Williams, Cody Brown, Micah Henry, and Will Davis, all the starting defensive backs out there, safeties. These guys have been completely shutting down offenses from the get-go. Arizona, they held to only 6 points in week 1. And then last week, Birmingham, they beat them 28-14. But that game was just kind of a blowout from the get-go. They were up 20-0. Luis Perez threw 2 interceptions. This Stallions defense is tough, and they've already got Arizona in a big 3rd and 8. Let's see what Wolford can do. Back to throw, and he's got all sorts of time. Lets it go deep across the middle, and it's knocked away. Incomplete, looking for Rashad Ross. So Salt Lake forces a quick 3-and-out to start this game, and that is not what you want to see if you're an Arizona Hotshot fan. Again, back in week 1, this is what happened. The Arizona Hotshots could not find a way to get things going early, and Salt Lake was able to capitalize on that. Let's see. Dennis Erickson, coach of the Salt Lake Stallions, he has done such a phenomenal job with his group so far. They're 2-0, and they just look dominant. Great start to the game. Jeff Locke, former Minnesota Viking, punts it away. And on the return, he'll take it up to about the 41. That's Sam Mobley. And now we're going to get a look at Josh Woodrum, the quarterback that has been playing a great season. 31 for 45, 485 yards. He's thrown 2 touchdowns. Threw the interception last week, but he was able to come back and get his team back into it. 109.9 rating on the season so far. But the crazy thing about Woodrum, he has also been running the football. 7 carries, 41 yards. He has 3 touchdowns rushing. He's ran for more touchdowns than he's thrown through the first 2 weeks. Let's see what they do on 1st down here with his offense. On the ground, it's Bunyan with a big hole. And he's already to midfield at the 50. Man, I'm telling you, this Salt Lake team is just unstoppable. And it's early into this game. But the way this offense has been put together, they haven't had to deal with injuries like they did in the real AAF season, and it's showing. Salt Lake can be a seriously good team. 2nd and 1 now from the 50. Bunyan's been an excellent back so far. On the ground again, it's Bunyan, breaks a tackle and picks up the first down into Arizona territory. Brings it all the way down to 45. 1st and 10 coming up from the Hotshots 45. This defense has got to find a way to stop the Salt Lake team. Again, the Stallions put up 38 points in week 1. However, the Hotshots defense really stepped it up in week 2. They shut down Johnny Manziel for most of the game. They made it difficult for the Express to score. That's what they've got to do today. And if they don't, they're going to drop to 1 and 2. Woodrum to throw. Got a man open. It's complete at the 38. That's Nick Truesdell, the tight end. Pickup of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3. And again, right now, Salt Lake's offense just looks so smooth. It's just running on all cylinders. You got great chunk yardage from the run game. You got chunk yardage from the passing game. I don't know how they're going to be stopped this season. Them and Orlando just look absolutely phenomenal. 2nd and 3 now from the 38. On the ground, Bunyan, and this time he's finally brought down for only a gain of about 1. But let's take a look at this offense. And this offensive line has been the best offensive line in the league so far. And then you got Joel Bunyan, who is leading the league right now. He's got 30 carries, 189 yards, and a touchdown, averaging 6.3 yards per carry. And then wide receivers, they've got a lot of really just solid threats as well. Nick Truesdell, he's had a bunch of he's got 144 yards. Adonis Jennings, 136. This is a team that is putting it together in every phase of football. Big 3rd and 2, though, from the 37. They go on the ground, and Bunyan is able to pick it up. 1st down to the 32. Huge carry for Salt Lake as the drive continues. What a play. Stallions rolling in a big 3rd down conversion there. Interestingly is they did struggle in week 2 on 3rd down, so that's the key to this game is Salt Lake being able to convert on 3rd down, push the ball down the field, and just score. And right now, they're doing a great job. We're not even halfway through the 1st quarter. They didn't even get the ball first yet. They're going to score, and that's a jump from Steven Johnson. That's going to give him another 5 yards. Oh. I was wrong. That's a false start on the offense, so that'll push him backwards. Back to 37, 1st and 15, and you know, those sorts of penalties can really kill solid drives. So let's see if Salt Lake can bounce back from this, or if Arizona can use that to give themselves some momentum. On the ground, Bunyan trying to break through tacklers and taken down. Solid tackling there. And let's look at this Arizona Hotshots defense. A defense that has struggled. They looked better last week. Raheem Yates, Marcus Hardiman, Will Sutton made some great plays. Scooby Wright, Steven Johnson, and Kellen Burnett at linebacker position. That's one of the best linebacker groups in the league. Robert Nelson, Raheem Moore, Kieran Williams. Arizona has a lot of pieces. The problem is they haven't really been able to put it together. I mean, at least against Salt Lake. Granted, they're having to play Salt Lake in week 1 and week 3, so it's a little bit unfair there. But yeah. Also, just so you guys know, I'm having a bit of audio troubles right now with my earbuds and stuff like that, so that's why I'm probably not announcing as good as I usually do. Woodrum, deep shot. He's got a man wide open. Adonis Jennings, all the way down to the 10. Huge reception for Salt Lake. Jennings had a couple big plays in week 1. He was a little more silent in week 2. But how about that? 26 yards, and that gets him right out of that 2nd and 13 funk. Just a beautiful throw from Woodrum on the run to Jennings, wide open there, down the seam, and that's what Arizona needs to cover up. I mean, look at how wide open Adonis Jennings is. You can't allow that to happen as a defense, especially when you're playing zone. You got to know where your zone is, and whoever was covering that zone, well, they weren't actually covering it. So, 1st and goal now from the 10. Salt Lake, they scored on their first drive back in week 1 against Arizona. Looks like they're going to do the same thing here. Woodrum back to throw. He's got all the time in the world, and now pressured, and he's going to be taken down. Big sack for Will Sutton, back at the 17, so Arizona's defense is able to step up and make a play. And hey, that's just persistence. Woodrum had a decent amount of time to throw, couldn't find anybody open, and Sutton is just able to break through and get him. And those are the types of plays that Hotshots are going to have to make today, just on every single drive. Now you're 2nd and goal from the 17. That makes it a lot more difficult, especially because it's not even like Woodrum can really air it out deep as he did to Adonis Jennings on that previous play, because you got so little room to work with in the end zone. Second and goal now from the 17. Let's see what Dennis Erickson wants to do to try to get his offense back in a rhythm. Backed up at the 17. At the 17. Second and goal. Back to throw is Woodrum, and he's got all day to the outside. Man, wide open is Jennings again. Down to the 7. That's going to bring up third and goal now. Man, these Salt Lake Stallions just find a way to fight and get through. And big third and goal, though. Can they get 7 more yards and start off the game with a touchdown? I'd say this is a monumental drive right now for Arizona's defense. If they can stop them after all that Salt Lake has done, that would be massive. And he motions Bunyan out. Looks like no one's really picked him up yet. But Woodrum is not able to get the play call off, and that's a second penalty on this drive. That's the type of stuff that you cannot let happen. That is ridiculous. And Dennis Erickson has got to find a way to get his team. That's a second 5-yard penalty on this drive. And the last one didn't really hurt too much, but now you're third and goal from the 12 instead of being third and goal from the 7. That makes it all the more difficult for Woodrum to try to find a window there in the end zone. Third and goal. Arizona brings the pressure. He's going to the end zone. He had Truesdell wide open, but he misses the throw. Woodrum's first incompletion of the day, and that's a tough one. That would have been an easy score. Truesdell was wide open there running that corner route. Look at this. It's just way behind the linebacker, and Woodrum, just an errant throw. We haven't seen him make too many bad throws, but that one's a tough one. So Taylor Bertollet on for the 29-yard field goal attempt for the first 3 points of the game for either team. Should be a pretty easy one. The kick is up, and it is good. 3-0. Salt Lake leads. It might not be the 6-0 lead that they jumped out to in the last game, but hey, 3 points is 3 points. Their defense just completely shut down Arizona that first drive. They have a really solid drive to go about 50 or so yards down the field. Run into some issues, though. That penalty, I think that really hurt. And Josh Woodrum, of course, did not really throw a good football there. But at the same time, he has to deal with that stupid penalty, pushes him back, and it hurts. Mentally, especially. So, Arizona, that's a win for them. They now are only down by 3 points, and in a position where if they score a touchdown, they can get momentum right back. And remember, last week, they opened up the game with a pick 6 to Memphis, and then they stormed back and kind of controlled the rest of the game from there. So anything is possible. That being said, Salt Lake is a much better team than Memphis, so we'll see what ultimately happens. Justin Stockton takes a knee in the end zone, so it's going to bring up 1st and 10 from the 25, and Arizona's first drive, that was pretty ugly, and John Wolford has got to find a way to push the ball down the field and give his receivers opportunities to actually make good plays on the ball. That last throw to Rashad Ross wasn't too bad, but he led Ross right into the safety that smashed him. 1st and 10, let's see what Neuheisel can do to get his team into this game. On the ground is Presley with his first carry. There's the big hole. Jarrell Presley up to the 35. That's a 10-yard gain on the play, and it's a first down for the Hotshots. And look, this is something that Arizona has to do. Remember, their best drive against Salt Lake in Week 1 was when Jarrell Presley was able to get things going. Of course, that was the only drive that they scored on. But Presley had a few nice runs on that drive, and it allowed Wolford to open up with his passing game. And that's what they're going to have to do. The offensive line has got to step up and start blocking and do more of what they just did in that previous play. 1st and 10 now from the 35. On the ground again, it's Presley, and this time, Greer Martini gets in there for a blast. Man. Well, we just talked about the offensive line blocking. Greer Martini got in there, and he wasn't touched. 2nd and 9 now from the 36. Let's see what Rick Neuheisel wants to call here. Big blitz from Salt Lake. Across the middle, it is knocked away. Incomplete, looking for Connor Hamlet, the tight end. And he had him, and the problem is that throw was inside instead of being outside, which allowed the Salt Lake defender to get there in time to jar that ball loose. Brings up a huge 3rd and 9. Arizona, they cannot keep punting the football if they want any chance at the game. Big blitz from Salt Lake again is picked up. Man wide open, that's Gerald Christian, the tight end. Into Salt Lake territory, down to the 44. And there's a big play for Arizona that they really, really needed. They have struggled in pretty much every third down throughout this season. That's a big pickup. That's the type of throw that gives Wolford confidence, and that's the type of play that just gives Arizona's offense confidence on a whole. We have never seen an Arizona tight end or wide receiver that wide open against Salt Lake throughout the entire season. First game of week 3. Arizona 1-1, Salt Lake 2-0. But a win here for Arizona puts them right in the heat of a tight AAF West. And that's complete. That's Christian again to the 42. That's going to bring up 2nd and 7. But yeah, going back to that point, Salt Lake's 2-0, Arizona's 1-1. You got San Diego and San Antonio that are both 1-1. All 4 of these AAF West teams are really strong. It's really going to be interesting and very, very exciting watching what ultimately happens between these two teams. I mean, between those 4 teams. 2nd and 7 now from the 42. On the ground, Presley met right away, and this offensive line just cannot seem to block these guys. Big tackle up front. Tenny Palaboy again with a nice play. It's going to bring up another huge 3rd and 8. And just completely unblocked. I don't know what the miscommunication is there between those offensive linemen, but they've got to do a better job. Salt Lake hardly even rushed anybody, yet they got right through. And now another big 3rd and 8, and this is what Arizona cannot keep putting themselves into. They've got to be able to find ways to pick up good yardage on 1st and 2nd down. 3rd and 8, can they get it done for the 2nd time? But we are going to hit the end of the 1st quarter here. 3-0, the hometown Salt Lake Stallions lead now. The only positive thing right now for Arizona is that at this point in week 1, they were down 14-0. So 3-0 is not too bad to be down by at the end of the 1st quarter. But the problem is their offense has looked pretty stagnant. Another big 3rd down. Can they convert? All receivers spread wide for Wolford. Back to throw. Deep down the field. He's got a man. It's complete. Rashad Ross inside the 15 to the 12. Massive play for the Hotshots. Those are the types of plays that, again, we haven't really seen much of them throughout the season, even last week against Arizona, against Memphis. But how about that play? That's a beautiful throw from Wolford. Leads Rashad Ross outside, where C. Williams is just not able to make a play on that ball. Wolford has struggled in the past with those throws where he throws it inside and the defender is able to make a play. That's the type of throws that we need to see more often from Wolford if he wants to establish himself as one of the better QBs in this league. 1st and 10 now from the 12. Wolford back to throw again with time. He's got a man open to the sideline and Gerald Christian down to the 7. So Arizona, just like that, is inside the 10. And this is exactly what I just said a few minutes ago. If Arizona can find a way to put a drive together, score a touchdown, take the lead, it's a whole new ball game. So, yeah, we'll see what Hotshots can come up with. Rick Neuheisel's got his team in a pretty solid position right now. They expect to see them go right now to Presley. And no, play action, Wolford. End zone shot, and he just overthrew him. Man, he had Richard Mullaney open. Just as we saw Woodrum miss a throw to the end zone. That's going to bring up 3rd and 6 now from the 7. The one thing Arizona has to do here is make sure that they don't turn over the football. Look, it would be great for them if they score a touchdown, but the last thing you want to do is have this great drive and turn over the ball and not get any points. You can at least tie it up at this point. Wolford to throw, rolling out, and he is absolutely hammered. Banderas with a huge sack on the play. That pushes him back to the 14, and Wolford kind of doing almost looked like he was going to try to take it himself, but he is absolutely hunted down by Josh Banderas. Huge hit, and that's going to force Arizona to have to kick a field goal. The one good thing for Arizona there is that Wolford held onto the ball, because that was an absolute shot that he took. So Nick Folk now, he's been on a few NFL teams and now found a home with the Arizona Hotshots of the AAF Simulated. 31-yard field goal attempt to tie things up at 3. The kick is on its way, and it is good. 3-3. Arizona has tied up the ball game, and you know, that's not a bad drive. Ultimately, you'd want to come away with a touchdown there, but you at least came away with 3. You keep it a 3-3 ball game, and now let's see if your defense can make a stop against Salt Lake. It's going to be very difficult. You're going up against Joe Bunyan and Josh Woodrum, who have just been in sync all season long. Bunyan, again, every time he touches the football, it's positive yardage, And then you've got Woodrum, who, of course, he did miss that throw there on that first drive. But regardless, he makes excellent throws pretty much all the time. He's been one of the most consistent quarterbacks in the league. I think the only quarterback that I'd say is more consistent than him is Garrett Gilbert, who, by the way, played an excellent game. And Orlando had what a tough loss that was to San Antonio. That was nuts. If you didn't see the ending to that game, recommend watching that after this one. On the return is Brandon Oliver. He had a kickoff return for a touchdown back in week 2 against Birmingham. The first kickoff return for a touchdown of the entire season. Brings that one up to the 29. So good starting field position for Salt Lake. 3-3 early on in the second quarter. And Josh Woodrum coming back out onto the field. Let's see what he can do with this team. Salt Lake is a squad that really hasn't kicked many field goals. First and 10 now from the 29. On the ground is Matt Asiata, and he's met right away in the backfield. Great penetration by Scooby Wright. The linebacker is able to break right through, and that, again, Arizona, they've really struggled with just pressuring the QB, getting guys through blocks, but there, Scooby Wright does it well, and that big sack from Will Sutton on the previous drive was able to ultimately hold Salt Lake to a field goal. Those are the types of plays that Arizona's got to find a way to come up with more often. They have the talent to do it. Now, do they have the brains? 2nd and 12 coming up from their own 27. Salt Lake in a bit of a funk right now offensively. See if they can get some of their mojo back. Off play action. Woodrum, all daylight to throw. Wide open man, and he misses him. Looking for Nick Truzel. That's the second time in a row he's been off target. It still would have been a tough throw to drop into the bucket, but that one was just way out of bounds. Massive 3rd and 12 right now. Salt Lake is, again, they've been up and down with third downs. Against Arizona, they've been quite good. Let's see if the Hotshots can come up with a huge stop here and maybe get the ball back and try to take the lead. 3rd and 12 from the 27. What is Dennis Erickson going to call? Woodrum to throw, and he's got all day to throw, and it's knocked away. What a play by Scooby Wright. Jumps the route, and Woodrum's pass falls incomplete. 4th and 12, and Salt Lake has one of their first 3 and outs of the season. That might be their first 3 and out of the entire... Actually, no, they had a couple last week. I'm so used to seeing Salt Lake march down and score. It's a surprise to see them have a 3 and out. It's very rare. But Erickson doesn't look too happy. I don't blame him. So Salt Lake gonna have to punt it away. He'll boot it away. Back to receive is Rashad Ross. And that goes out of bounds at the 30, so not a bad punt. And that's Austin Recco on the punt, by the way. And that'll bring up 1st and 10 now for the Hotshots on their own 30 with 7 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the second quarter. So a lot of time for the Hotshots to try to march down and score and take the lead. Let's see what they can do. Had a pretty good drive going last time. Stalled out inside the 10. What's going to happen right now? Off play action. Woodrum. Oh my goodness. He gets lit up again. Carter Schultz with the sack. Schultz has been making plays week in and week out, and Salt Lake has their 2nd sack of the day. Basically consecutive back-to-back sacks if you just skip over the field goal. Sacked Wolford on that 3rd and 6, and then they open up this drive with a sack, and both these defenses right now are playing some great football. And it has been a very offensive league so far, so it's great to see both these defenses right now battling it out. A little bit more of a tough game where both these teams are just slugging it out. 2nd and 18 now from the 22. A lot of ground to cover for Wolford. He's going to go deep down the field, and it's just overthrown. Looking for Mulaney down the seam. Wolford 5 for 10, and completion is what his completion percentage is what he's kind of struggled with. So far on the season, 63.6%, but in week 1, it was hardly over 50, which they played against Salt Lake then. He was held only 94 yards through the air in week 1. 3rd and 18. I don't see how Arizona can get this done. We'll see though. Richard Mulaney in motion. Wolford back to throw. He's got time, but he's got to let the ball go. Backing up. He's going to air it out deep down the field. And that is intercepted. Picked off by the Stallions with room to run down the sideline. Henry Tolliver brings it all the way down to the 30. So Salt Lake makes a huge play. Wolford throws his 2nd pick of the season. Those are the types of plays that really just kill Arizona's drive and their overall momentum. Wolford makes it, this is just a terrible decision. He tries to force the football in between two defenders, and Tolliver is able to just sit under that and make a play. Salt Lake, their defense has been absolutely excellent with turnovers, especially in week 2. Funny thing, week 1 against Arizona, they beat them 38-6, and they didn't get any turnovers that game. So this is the first turnover that they've had against Arizona. But generally speaking, when it comes to just turnover on downs, just forcing the teams to punt, and creating turnovers themselves, Salt Lake's defense has been one of the best. And now they set up the Stallions offense that has been a little bit flat in great field position. 1st and 10 from Arizona's 30. Woodrum to throw with time. Across the middle, and that is knocked away. Pearsonell had it, and it's just great defense again. So the Hotshots, you know, this is really tough for their defense because they've actually been playing a good game, much better than they did in week 1, yet their offense is not really helping them out at all. If they can somehow stop Salt Lake to a field goal here, that would be absolutely incredible. It just goes to show the amount of growth that they've had defensively. We'll see. 2nd and 10 from the 30. Off play action. Woodrum in trouble. Hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. That was risky, and Woodrum now only 3 for 8, and he started the game 3 for 3, so his last 5 passes have not found the mark. 3rd and 10 from the 30. Can Woodrum get him the first down? Got all time, and he's got a man wide open as Nick Truesdell. Inside the 15 to the 12. And there's the big play that Salt Lake's offense needed to get things going in the right direction again. I love the play call, and I even more so love the execution. Look at that. Truesdell was just wide open. Honestly, it's a very similar play to what Arizona ran with Gerald Christian early in the first quarter. It's just a simple play that works to perfection. That's just a nice flanker dig route, basically. 1st and 10 now from the 12, and Salt Lake, after several poor plays in a row, see if they can get to the end zone for the first time today. Off play action, Woodrum going to the end zone, and it is knocked away. Adonis Jennings had it, but a huge play made by Arizona's defense to force the incompletion. 2nd and 10, the Hotshots backed up against it right now. Can they find a way to hold? It's only a matter of time before Woodrum finds the end zone. He's just such an excellent quarterback in this league. I don't see Arizona getting the stop here. 2nd and 10 now from the 12. Back to throw is Woodrum. All day. Rips it across the middle, and Truesdell cannot catch it. Scooby Wright with some excellent coverage, and I gotta say, Woodrum's percentage is struggling when it comes to completing the football. On the season, he's got 68.9%, but today, 4 for 11. He's barely shooting about... He's a little bit under 40% right now. 3rd and 10, another big 3rd and 10. Can Salt Lake convert once again? Back to throw. Blitz from Arizona, and that is incomplete. Josh Woodrum completing only 33% of his passes, and that's going to bring on Taylor Bertollet again for a chip shot. It's just disappointing for Salt Lake that was just handed great field position and unable to put it together offensively. They're going to be held to another field goal, and after all that, it's going to be a 6-3 game. Bertollet going to be coming on for his second 29-yard field goal attempt of the day. Great defense. Okay, I got to say, Arizona's defense has really impressed me this game. Definitely the biggest factor so far of this game has been Arizona's defense and their ability to shut down this high-powered Salt Lake offense. Bertollet for the field goal, and it's good. As expected, 6-3 lead for the Stallions. Reclaim it. Taylor Bertollet, one of the biggest offensive highlights of this game so far for Salt Lake. But going back to my previous point, again, I've really been impressed with the way Arizona's defense has played. We expected Salt Lake's defense to be good. They shut down Arizona. The Hotshots only have 3 points. They had the takeaway, and they've been playing excellent football. But that's what we expected. What we didn't expect is an Arizona team that gave up 38 points in week 1. Salt Lake only has 6 right now. They've just looked flat offensively. They have not been able to convert on some big third downs, especially when they get into the red zone. If Arizona can keep playing defense like this, maybe it will finally get their offense going. Who knows? Rick Neuheisel's got to do a better job coaching this offense for sure. And John Wolford's got to make some smarter decisions with the football. Justin Stockton on the return. He's got some room to run. makes a nice cut up field and brings it to the 30. So good starting field position for the Hotshots, only down by 3. Again, this is a big game for both of these teams. If Salt Lake comes out with a win, they improve to 3-0, and they really start pulling ahead there in the AAF West. And meanwhile, if Arizona loses, they drop to 1-2, and that's going to make it a lot more difficult for them to make the playoffs because they get swept by Salt Lake, and then they've got to just bank on the fact that they can beat San Diego and San Antonio, which is going to be really hard. 1st and 10 now from the 30. Off play action, Wolford to throw, just checks it out. That's Gerald Christian, and he goes pretty much nowhere. Great coverage. Will Davis on a nice tackle. Brings up 2nd and 8. Gerald Christian, though, he has been one of the best playmakers for Arizona's offense throughout the season. He's already got 2 touchdowns, 1 in each week. What if he picks one up here? He was their sole touchdown back in week 1 when these teams played. 2nd and 8 now from the 33. On the ground, it's Presley trying to find a hole and runs into his own man. And that just kind of sums up how Arizona's offense has looked for most of this first half. Another big 3rd and 7. This is what I was saying earlier. Arizona does a terrible job of gaining yardage on 1st and 2nd down. I mean, it really is pathetic. And I don't know if it's a problem with Neuheisel or just the offense's performance itself, but they've got to find a way to stop themselves from shooting at each other in the foot. 3rd and 7. Can Wolford pick up the 3rd down conversion? Across the middle is knocked away. Excellent defense once again. Man. These Salt Lake Stallions are for real. Just a beautiful play on the ball. And another bad pass from Wolford. If he puts that outside, it doesn't allow Salt Lake Stallions defender to get there. 4th and 7, and Jeff Locke is going to have to come on to punt it away again. This is just... Arizona's offense just has been underwhelming this season, especially against Salt Lake, which has been 2 of their 3 matches so far. What a punt, though, from Jeff Locke. Buries Salt Lake at the 8, and they have a lot of work to do if they want to score. Look at this punt. What a beauty from Jeff Locke, and that is really what they needed. Their defense has been playing good, and now with Salt Lake backed up to the 8, who knows? Maybe they can come up with another stop. Here comes Josh Woodrum and the Stallions, and Woodrum 4 for 12 in this first half so far. He has not been playing good football, but the one thing that he has going for him is that his team always finds a way to put it together, and it's only a matter of time. I can see right now them marching 92 yards down the field. Woodrum to throw, and another incomplete pass. Off the mark, he was feeling the pressure. Arizona brought a blitz, and now it brings up 2nd and 10. Very low-scoring game. This is definitely the lowest-scoring game of the season so far. Again, both these defenses just really slugging it out and just creating plays. Who doesn't love defensive football? It's nice to have defensive football sometimes. Off-play action. Woodrum with all day to throw, and he's just got to get rid of it. He's going to go deep. Way down the field, and it's just out of bounds. Chucks it away. Yeah, Woodrum, again, it's just not been his day, and Arizona, credit to them for doing such a great job so far, shutting down those receivers, which, again, if you watch the Week 1 game, or if you go back and watch it, you can see how just the way Woodrum was just shredding that defense, and so far today, Arizona's made some great adjustments on defense. The offense, not so much. 3rd and 10. Can they get a big 3rd down conversion here? Woodrum's in trouble. Gotta just check it away, and it's out of bounds and incomplete. And, man, the Stallions were ranked number 1 coming into Week 3, and right now they are not playing like it offensively. Just tries to check it out with Truesdale and leads him out of bounds. Woodrum is really struggling. 4 for 15 now. Man. So Austin Recco going to have to punt it away from his own end zone. Who booted away? Rashad Ross to receive, and he calls for a fair catch at the 47. So the Hotshots have absolutely outstanding field position. There really is no excuse for them right now. If they can't put it together right now offensively, when will they actually do it? Presley, got to find a way to get him more involved. A couple bad runs. The offensive line, though, has done a terrible job so far in this game. They've got to step it up. 1st and 10 now from the 47. Jarrell Presley trying to make a cut up field, and look again. Look at how quickly Gianni Paul covers that play. Presley just has nowhere to go. Salt Lake is just completely demolishing this offensive line. Brings up 2nd and 10 now from the 48. And Arizona, they just need a big play. They need something. This is like the best field position that they've had all game long. On the ground again, I'm surprised with the call, but Jarrell Presley. There's the big play that they needed. Inside the 30 to 29. How about that? So Presley able to shed some tacklers, and that time he does it on his own. There really was not much of a hole there for him. And look at this, he just squeezes through Hanneman, breaks away from Henry Tolliver, and Hanneman is able to catch up to him after Tolliver slowed him down. But that's a big pickup for Arizona right there. It puts them in field goal range and allows them to hopefully tie up this ball game going into halftime. The thing is, though, never count out Salt Lake's defense. They have been destroying this offensive line, and I could totally see Carter Schultz come around the edge for a sack. And with the way this game has been so defensive so far, who knows? Presley again, trying to cut out the field. Jarrell Presley, big run again, inside the 15 to the 14, and Presley now with 50 yards in the day, just like that. And this is exactly what Arizona needs to do. Jarrell Presley's got to find some running lanes, because that allows Wolford to get a lot more confident. So we've hit the 2-minute warning, 6-3 Salt Lake with the lead, but Arizona again with their second pretty solid drive of the day, and let's see if they can come away with some points. I mean, a touchdown here would be absolutely massive, because Salt Lake gets it for the second half. If it's 6-6, you're like, Salt Lake can just march down and score a touchdown, and it makes it tough. If Arizona can score a touchdown here, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the Stallions to score coming out in the second half. Why not keep it on the ground? It's Presley again, but it only picks up about a yard. It's going to bring up 2nd and 9 from the 13. But see, now that they got the run game going, now is where John Wolford can take advantage of play action and hope that it works out. We'll see what Rick Newhouse decides to call. 2nd and 9 from the 13. I'd probably expect them to go through the air on this play. Let's see. You never know. Motions Presley out, so he will throw. Wolford with time. Got a man that's complete. Freddie Martino with his first catch of the day. It goes down to the 7. So a big 3rd and 3. And remember, 3rd and 6. Big sack from, I believe, Banderas. So let's see if Arizona can convert on this 3rd down as time continues to run here in the second quarter. Plenty of time, though, to score. 3rd and 3. See what the play call is. They go on the ground. It's Presley. And he's got enough for the first down. All the way down to the 2. Wow. Arizona knocking on the door, and now they're going to blow a timeout. They didn't really have to do that. So they're all the way down to the 2 right now. One interesting thing about the situation, though, with only 2 timeouts with 1:01 on the clock, they technically might not come away with any points here if the Madden simulation just decides to screw them over with poor time management. We will see. See what the play call is on 1st and goal. I expect to see them just give it to Presley, who's been having a great drive so far. Yeah, it's going to be a run to the right. He gets it, and into the end zone is Tim Cook. Touchdown, Arizona. Cook gets his first touch of the day, and it puts the Hotshots on top for the first time today. That is a huge score. Absolutely massive. Cook has not been involved too much throughout the season, but they like to put him in. He's a bigger back, and he's just able to break to the outside. I was expecting to see him just kind of try to smash his way up through the middle. But what a play from Arizona that puts them on top. This is the first time that they have led against Salt Lake throughout the season. And again, this is such a huge game for both teams. Salt Lake, you dropped to 2-1. That makes it a little bit more tough for you to hold on to the division. Meanwhile, Arizona drops to 1-2, being swept by Salt Lake. That's tough as well. Big 2-point conversion. Let's see if they can convert and make this a 5-point game. Back to throw is Wolford with time. Going to the end zone. It's knocked away. Unbelievable effort there by Cody Brown. In the back of the end zone, Richard Mullaney had it, and I gotta say, Mullaney has to hang on to that football. Hopefully we get a replay of this. It's a good drive from Arizona. Rick Newhouse, I'm not too happy about that, but let's look at this again. Mullaney is wide open. Technically, he has possession, but Cody Brown is just able to get in there and knock it away before they can call that he had possession, and it's just a great play, and it keeps it a 3-point game. Salt Lake with 3 timeouts. Guess what? Well, with the way their offense has been, who says that they can't march down and get into field goal range right now? So Nick Folk gonna get ready to kick it away. And again, what a huge drive for the Hotshots. They were able to march down and finish it off. And that's what they have to do more often. And if they want to, improve to 2-1 and start moving up the ranks in this league, this could be a big win on the road. Coming off a big win on the road against Memphis. Set them up nicely. If we go to the schedule here, let me take a quick look at this. Salt Lake next week is... Oh, let's play out first, and then we'll get into that. 1st and 10 from the 25. Woodrum with all day to throw deep down the field, and is that caught? Just out of bounds. That's tough. Woodrum is 25% completion percentage. That's nuts. But anyway, Salt Lake is hosting Orlando next week, which is going to be a really, really tough game. You think if they lose this game, it's going to be a tough game against Orlando. They could fall to 2-2. Meanwhile, Arizona, they're hosting Atlanta next week, so they could easily be 3-1 and take the division lead. Crazy stuff. 2nd and 10. Blitz from Arizona. Checks it underneath. That's complete. Sam Mobley trying to break tackles, but it only takes it to the 31. Salt Lake uses a timeout. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4. I gotta say, though, the Stallions offense for the first time this season looks vulnerable. They only have 6 points here in this first half. They marched down inside like the 10 or was inside the 15 twice and come away with 6 points. That's not the Salt Lake Stallions that we know. It's not too early yet. We got a whole half of football to go. But let's see what they can do here on 3rd and 4. Where's on the throw? Deep shot down the field. It is hauled in. Adonis Jennings, what a catch. Down to the 43, and that's exactly what the Stallions offense needed. And look, this is the type of stuff that they do. This is what they do. They fight through adversity. They had a tough first quarter against Birmingham, and then turned it on, 20 unanswered points. So yeah, let's see. They've only scored 6, but 1 timeout left, though. So they're going to have to try to... I don't even know. Sometimes these Madden simulations are nuts with the way that they try to, quote-unquote, manage the time. 1st and 10 from the 43. All day for Woodrum to throw. He just checks it out. It's complete, but he does not get out of bounds. 2nd and 7 coming up. That's Anthony Denham out of the backfield. Brings up 2nd and 7, and now as Salt Lake is running out of time quickly, I don't think they can come away with any points from this. Now they finally use the timeout. What a waste! Complete waste of a timeout there, and now they're out of timeouts in this Madden simulation. They kind of hurt Arizona in the first game. Right now they're hurting Salt Lake. 2nd and 7 now from the 40 and no timeouts. So Woodrum's just got to see if he can. He's got to at least make a throw out of bounds that gives Salt Lake the opportunity to kick a field goal and tie this game. 2nd and 7 now from the 40. See what the play call is from Dennis Erickson. Back to throw is Woodrum with all day. He's just going to take a deep shot. He's got a man and he overthrew him. Man. That's a 20th pass for Woodrum, who was only connected on 7 of them. He had Adonis Jennings streaking to the end zone. He beat his man one-on-one, and the safety was closing in. But regardless, if Woodrum puts that throw there, it's a touchdown and a game changer going into the second half. 3rd and 7 from the 40. Can Salt Lake's offense get something going? Big blitz from Arizona. It's picked up. It's complete, but wow. How is that not a fumble? Pearsonell had plenty of... Pearsonell looked like he had possession of that football. I'm surprised that they called that incomplete. This brings up 4th and 7 from the 40. Are they going to try a 57-yarder with Bertollet? 1, 2, and he kind of starts to run with it, and then it's knocked away. That's very close. It's a great play from Kieran Williams and Sterling Moore. 4th and 7, and what's the play call going to be from Erickson? Will he let Bertollet try? No. Austin Recca was going to punt it away. 4th and 7 from the 40. And he'll boot it away. And goes out at the 14. So Arizona, 2 timeouts, 6 seconds. Yeah, they're just going to let this run out. And that's a smart decision. You're up 9-6 against a team that you have blown out. I mean, Arizona in this first half has scored more points than they scored the entire game back in Week 1. So that'll do it for this first half of football. First game of Week 3 in the AAF Simulated, and it's a much different game than it was back in Week 1. 9-6. The visiting Arizona Hotshots lead the hometown Salt Lake Stallions, who they're the only undefeated team left, but might not be for long. We'll see right after this. We welcome you back to Salt Lake, where the hometown Stallions, they're 2-0, but right now they're down 9-6, and they got to find a way to get their offense going. Josh Woodrum is 7 for 21 right now, coming into the second half, and Dennis Erickson's got to find a way to get his offense back into the form that they were in week 1 and week 2. They put up 38 points, they put up 28 points today, only 6. Still, 2 quarters to play, 20 minutes of good old football. Been a defensive battle, and I gotta say, again, I've said it before, I'm not trying to sound like I'm rooting for Arizona. I'm just really impressed with the way their defense has stepped up in this game, which I've said before. They really struggled, of course. They gave up 38 points to Salt Lake in week 1. Week 2, they improved against Memphis, but they're playing even better than they did against Memphis right now, so we'll see if that can keep up. Nick Folk boots it away. Back to receive is Brandon Oliver. He'll just let it bounce out of the end zone. I don't know what the heck Nick Vogt was doing there, but he's having a jolly time. Team's winning. Good for him. 1st and 10 coming up from the 25. Let's see what Dennis Erickson wants to call here. First play of the second half. Maybe try to get Bunyan back involved. Joe Bunyan was having a great game, and they've really shied away from him. Woodrum's playing terrible right now. Why not go back to the run game? They will. Joe Bunyan on the toss, and he tries to break away from 1, but ultimately taken down for a loss of 2. And Bunyan, who had over 100 yards in week 1, and then over 80 yards in week 2, right now only has 19. And this is what Salt Lake is struggling with. I think that's a big key in in the first half. He's not been involved, and they're putting all the pressure on Woodrum, who's not playing well right now. So you got to find a way to get Bunyan going, because that'll allow Woodrum to get more comfortable again. 2nd and 12 now from the 23. This has been a dang long game. We're over 45 minutes, and we're hardly into the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 12 now from the 23. Not to complain, though. This has been fun. Off-play action. Woodrum all day. He's going to go deep down the field, and incomplete again. Man. Josh Woodrum is just having a tough go-around today. I mean, lots of bad throws. I mean, that time maybe he just kind of was throwing it away. But 3rd and 12. I mean, since when was Salt Lake in so many 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 12s, 3rd and 8s, and not converting on them? 3rd and 12 from the 23. This is big. Can Woodrum find a way to get it through? Just checks it down, and it's out of bounds. Incomplete. A quick 3 and out for Salt Lake to start this second half, and they were looking like they did in the first half, and that's not a good sign of where this team is at right now. Anything can change. We got a lot of football left, but right now, Josh Woodrum is just not. He's just having a really hard time. So Austin Recco to punt it away once again. He will boot it away. Back to receive is Rashad Ross, and looks like that's going to be out of bounds at 17. One heck of a punt from Austin Recco, and that'll pin Arizona inside the 20. So, Darrell Presley, he really got going that last drive, and he really was what allowed Arizona to take this lead. A couple of those big runs, he broke a couple tackles, and now let's see if they can continue that positive momentum here in the second half. 1st and 10 from the 17. Off-play action, Wolford to throw. He's going to go deep down the field, and way overthrows Rashad Ross. Wolford, he's not playing a good game either. I mean, 7 for 15, 67 yards and a pick. Both these quarterbacks are really struggling today. And Wolford has been very inconsistent this season. Woodrum is the one that surprises me the most right now. Arizona's defense is one of the weaker defenses in the league in general through the first 2 weeks. So it's a surprise he's struggling so much. Wolford to throw. Checks it down. That's complete. Rashad Ross got a 1st down to the 30. Big play, and Ross uses his feet to pick up the 1st down. That's exactly what Arizona needs, and that's the type of plays they got to continue to make. Rashad Ross is such a big playmaker, such big playmaker potential for the Hotshots. He's a speedster. 1st and 10 now from the 30. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Presley take it to the left side. Let's see, that's what I'm calling. No, Wolford will throw. He's going to go deep down the field. Going down the sidelines for Ross, and it's knocked away. Incomplete. That was a dangerous throw. Micah Hanneman had great coverage on him. Brings up 2nd and 10. It's a dangerous throw, and I don't like the decision from Wolford there. You think if Hanneman comes away with that pick, ruins a drive that seems like it's going in the right direction right now, and gives Salt Lake momentum that you just don't need to give. 2nd and 10 now from the 30. Maybe off tackle of Presley here? Let's get Presley involved. That's when the offense does well. At least usually. Wolford to throw again. Got time. And it's picked off again. Intercepted. Will Davis at the 38. And that's a crusher. And this is exactly what I just said. They give Salt Lake the football at the 38, basically in field goal range already. John Wolford with his 3rd pick of the season, 2nd pick in this game. And the funny thing to me is that that's the 2nd turnover for Salt Lake this game. Yet they only have 6 points. Well, meanwhile, in week 1 they didn't get any turnovers and they scored 38. So that's interesting. But anyways, Josh Woodrum is coming back out onto the field, and he set up at the 38. Salt Lake got 3 points off of that pick the last time. Let's see if they can get some more points. And this is that type of stuff that Arizona is going to be like, man, we shot ourselves in the foot when they're 2-5 in week 7. Bunyan on the ground with a big hole. Joel Bunyan met at the 29, but not before. It's a beautiful gain of 9. And look, let's face it, that's a terrible throw from Wolford. That's a terrible decision, and I think that might have just given Salt Lake some momentum to start pulling ahead and maybe winning this game. Of course, early in the 3rd quarter, but it's stuff like that that changes momentum in games, and sometimes you never get it back. 2nd and 1 now from the 29, and let's see what Salt Lake can do. Dennis Erickson, can he get his team back on top? Off play action, force him to throw all day in the pocket, going deep down the field and way out of bounds. Just throws that one away. This is a massive 3rd and 1, because you think if Arizona can somehow, again, their defense has just played absolutely phenomenal today. This is the best game by far of the season. If their defense can somehow hold Salt Lake to a field goal here, that'd be monumental. That'd be crazy. 3rd and 1 from the 29. And Bunyan is able to get it, I think. He picked it up. Yes, he did. 1st and 10. Big run from Bunyan. Was it 1 yard? Yes, but that's all that they needed for a big-time 1st down. Moves his chains, and Salt Lake starting to get themselves into a rhythm offensively, and that's just tough. Scooby Wright hits him right at the line and then pushes him back, but it's just not enough. Arizona's defense was not able to close that gap, and I'm surprised they did not stack the box more. Why not bring a blitz in that situation? 3rd and 1. Even if Josh Woodrum does play action, you have a good chance of sacking him. Bad defense right there. Don't know why you wouldn't blitz on a play like that. 1st and 10 now from the 28. Woodrum, let's see what he can do. And it's Bunyan who is met immediately. There's the defense. What a play on the exterior. That's Pelianu with a big-time tackle. Pushes him back to 2nd and 14. And again, Arizona is a team that really has not had many plays like that. Tackles for loss, sacks. They're doing it today. They're getting the job done. Just look at the penetration from Anu. Just gets right around him. 2nd and 14 now. And off play action, Woodrum all day, going deep towards the end zone, and that is almost picked off. Very dangerous throw in the direction of Adonis Jennings, and Woodrum is 7 for 25. I still can't believe that. And what's crazy is that he's 7 for 25, yet you have John Wolford on the other hand who's thrown 2 picks. And it's still a 9-6 game. 3rd and 14. Let's see. If Arizona defense gives this up, that's going to be really, really tough for them to bounce back and hold him to a field goal. They've got to stop him here to keep this tied. Blitz. Checks out the Bunyan. And excellent coverage. What a tackle made by that Arizona defense. Huge, huge play. Still trying to get who that was. Oh, that was Edwards. Saquon Edwards with the big-time tackle. I know Woodrum was feeling the pressure, but you're 3rd and 14. A field goal really doesn't give you much momentum to get back in this game, and now, after 2 interceptions that have set you up inside the 40, the opposing team's 40, twice, and you're only going to come away with 6 points off of both of those combined. That's just, I don't know. Dennis Erickson's got to find out a way to get things together. Bertollet on for the 48-yard field goal attempt, and it's good. Nails it. Taylor Bertollet, 3 for 3 on the day, and he's been pretty much all of the offense for Salt Lake today. Now it's just a beautiful kick. He's been solid on the season. Yeah, let's take a quick look at his stats. Kickers don't get enough recognition in the league. Back in week 2, he was 2 for 2, and in week 1, he didn't kick any field goals. But 3 for 3 on the day, so he is 5 for 5 on the season right now. Solid kicker. Really been excellent so far for Salt Lake. 9-9. We are tied up again. Burley sends it away. Justin Stockton will decide to take it out of the end zone, makes a move, and cuts it to the 24. So that's really good tackling right there by Salt Lake. Justin Stockton could have broke that loose if they didn't make the tackle right there. 1st and 10. Coming back out on the field is Tim Cook, who has the only touchdown. It's an interesting stat to put up, but hey, I mean, he's got the only offensive score, and maybe just hand him the football back. Why not? Wolford's probably just going to hand it to the other team anyway. 1st and 10 now from the 24. They go on the ground, and it is Tim Cook, and this time he's going to lose 2 yards. Actually, he might have lost 3. He did. To bring up 2nd and 13. So now the only score, touchdown score in this game is someone that has negative 1 yards. It just kind of sums up the way it's going, I think. It is pretty funny. 2nd and 13 coming up, and right now if you're the Hotshots, you're in big trouble because your offense has been pretty stale. It's been stagnant, and you've got a quarterback that has been making some awful decisions. Salt Lake has a lot more firepower right now to win this game. 2nd and 13. Wolford to throw. Salt Lake brings a blitz. He's going deep, and it misses his man. He had Mulaney, and Wolford, he's 8 for 19. He's not doing any better than Woodrum. I mean, he's thrown 2 picks as well. So, 3rd and 13. Getting to the point where, like, someone's just got to make a play. And maybe it'll be a pick 6. I don't know. Someone's got to step up and make a play that gets their team in a position to win this game. We're under 5 minutes in the 3rd quarter. Back to throw with Wolford. All day. Rifles it across middle. It's complete! Finds Rashad Ross for the 1st down to 38. Well, there's a big play, and maybe that'll do something. Rashad Ross is having himself a nice day. 4 catches, 61 yards. And how about that 1st down? And where have the throws like that been from John Wolford almost all day long? He had a couple nice ones there early in the 1st half. Look at that. That's beautiful. You hit your man in stride, give him an opportunity to make a play on the football, and Rashad Ross makes a play on the football. That's how you play football. And I'm pretty sure I just said play football like 4 times, but I made a good point. You're welcome. 1st and 10 from the 38. See what Rick Neuheisel wants to do. They're going to try a screen. And Freddie Martino goes nowhere. Those Madden screens are the stupidest calls most of the time, and Cody Brown covers that one nicely. Brings up 2nd and 12 from the 36. Freddie Martino only 2 catches for 4 yards on the day so far after that screen. He's been a guy that's been playing pretty well throughout the season. He had his first touchdown catch last week against Memphis. And overall, he's played some good football. He's had some nice grabs. Let's see, where are his stats? I cannot find them right now. Oh, 6 catches, 68 yards, and a touchdown. 2nd and 12 now from the 36. In motion is Ross. He won't get it on the ground. It's Presley trying to break it upfield, but excellent again. This offensive line has done a terrible job, and it's another example right there. Tanny Palapoy gets right there for the tackle. Greer Martini was in there to back him up. 3rd and 11, and again, how many times have we seen Arizona in these long 3rd downs today? We've seen Salt Lake do it a lot, but I feel like we've seen Arizona do it even more. 3rd and 11 from the 37. Can Wolford find a way to convert? Back to throw with a lot of time, and now he's pressured, and he's going to be taken down. Nowhere to go. Mike Purcell with the sack. That's the 3rd sack of the day for Salt Lake, I believe. Wow. Talking about the defense stepping up. How about Salt Lake's defense stepping up? I mean, Arizona's defense has been playing a great game. Well, the Stallions' defense just week in and week out is just phenomenal. It really is. I will say this honestly right now. I think they're the best defense in the league. They gave up 6 points in week 1, 14 in week 2, and now in week 3 they've only given up 9. And you just get the feeling I don't see how Arizona can score more with the way Wolford is looking. 4th and 17. Jeff Locke to punt it away. Former Minnesota Viking will boot it away, and back to receive is Mobley out of bounds at 24. So Salt Lake after they played a pretty terrible game, are in a position to win this game and improve to 3-0. We got 2:14 left in the third quarter. We'll see what happens. Plenty of football left. First and 10 from the 24. What's Dennis Erickson going to call? Off-play action. Woodrum rolling out. With time. Pushes the D down the field, and it's incomplete, and he had another man open. Josh Woodrum again. Look, he's played a great 2 weeks here in the first couple weeks. Here in the opening game of week 3, he's playing terrible. 8 for 27. That's like under 30%. And he's someone that's coming into this game with pretty much 70%, completing almost 70% of his passes. He's got to find a way to pull himself together here. Off-play action again, Woodrum to throw. All day in the pocket. Lets it go. And that time it's complete. Nick Truesdell coming back for it. And that catch made it at 38. So a big first down for Salt Lake. And Arizona, look, they played a great game defensively. They have held a Stallions team that has scored so many touchdowns to 3 field goals on the day. But they can only hold up for so long. And John Wolford, their quarterback, has thrown 2 picks. They've gone absolutely nowhere offensively throughout most of the game. And yeah, it's just a matter of time before Salt Lake starts racking up some yardage and racking up some points. And Arizona, after their defense, again, this is by far the most complete game that they played. They gave up 38 points to Salt Lake in week 1. And here in week 3, Salt Lake's got 9. And that's off 2 turnovers that were given to them inside the 40-yard line. So, pretty impressive. But I think Salt Lake's going to start pulling ahead here. Great penetration, though. Look at the defense making the stop on Bunyan, who only has 25 yards in the day, and that's coming off a game with over 100 and then a game with over 80. Second and 10 now from 38. Both these defenses are just playing excellent football. 9-9 here as we are under a minute in the third quarter. The lowest scoring game of the season so far. It has been just a defensive slugfest. Second and 10 from the 38. Off-play action, Woodrum to throw. Gotta get rid of it. Going deep down the middle. And it's incomplete. Looking for Adonis Jennings, and Woodrum, he's attempted 29 passes and he's only completed 9 of them. Pretty wild. Third and 10 from 38. Can the Hotshots get another defensive stop? That'd be really, really impressive. They've already made so many phenomenal stops. I don't know if they can make another one. Third and 10. Blitz. And that's complete to Nick Truesdell. First down to the 50. Salt Lake is able to convert again. And this is just the stuff that wears down Arizona. They're out on the field so much because their offense is terrible. And that's the second third down converted on this drive, and you just can't blame them. They've played a great game. They can only hold up for so long. That being said, let's look at Salt Lake, and that's just an excellent play execution. They ran that play similar back in the second quarter, and it worked to perfection. Nick Truesdell had himself a great day here as we're near the end of the third quarter. See if they get this play off. They will not. So we're going to go to the fourth quarter. 3 down, 1 more to go in the opening game of week 3 of the AAF Simulated. 9-9. The Arizona Hotshots on the road. They're 1-1. The Salt Lake Stallions, their home opener, 2-0. They've only put up 9 points after they're putting up 38 in week 1 and 28 in week 2. They've got to find a way to get their offense rolling. First and 10 though from the 50. One of the better looking drives this game for them. Woodrum to throw. And almost picked off. It's going to bring up second and 10 now from the 50. Woodrum is 10 for 31. The interesting thing though on this drive is that Salt Lake has had first and second downs. They have not played well throughout really this entire game. But on third downs, they found a way to get it done a couple times that has really kept them in this ball game to keep this a tie game at 9-9. Second and 10 now from the 50. Off-play action, and Woodrum heavily pressured, but it's somehow complete. Wow. Finds Adonis Jennings, and they're down to Arizona's 31. That's a pickup of 19 in the play. Jennings having himself a great day with 81 yards. Look at this. He is getting walloped. It's not the greatest throw, but Jennings makes a great catch on the football, and he's so wide open. The defense doesn't even have a chance to make a play on that on its own pass. So bring up first and 10 now from the 31 for an offense that has been pretty stagnant. Can they finally get their first touchdown of the day? from the 31. See what Dennis Erickson wants to call. Maybe get Bunyan back involved. Woodrum to throw. Big blitz. That's complete underneath Nick Truesdell to the 22. To bring up 2nd and inches, and Salt Lake starting to put together a drive. We've been waiting for them to put together a drive all day long, and looks like they're finally getting it done. Wide open Truesdell, just a nice simple slant route. It's just such an effective play. And Arizona's defense starting to break down. Second and inches coming up from the 22, and we're under 9 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. You think if Salt Lake scores a touchdown here, it's really gonna make it. I don't see how Arizona can come back from that. On the ground is Bunyan, straight forward, 1st down to the 16. Bunyan's had a rough day, but that's a big time carry for the 1st down. 1st and 10 now from the 16. They're in the red zone again. They've had 3 trips in the red zone, 3 field goals. Salt Lake's got to find a way to score a touchdown. Really no other way around it. 1st and 10 from the 16. Let's see what Erickson wants to call. Maybe take an end zone shot here. Why not? And no, they go on the ground as Bunyan, and he's wrapped up at the 15. But yeah, we saw so much running the first 2 weeks between Bunyan and Matt Asiata. And the Stallions have not been able to put it together today. 2nd and 9 from the 15. And they go on the ground. Bunyan trying to bounce outside. And what a big time tackle. Will Sutton. He had a big sack before, and he penetrates that offensive line right immediately. 3rd and 9 now coming up from the 16. Look at this. He just bounces off the blocker and able to hit Bunyan in stride. It's just an excellent, just a power play from Sutton. 3rd and 9 from the 16. Let's see what happens. Yeah, anything can happen right now. Woodrum pump fakes. Let's it go. It's complete. DeMornay Pearsonell. Touchdown, Salt Lake. What a throw from Woodrum. A pass that I thought was borderline going to be intercepted, and it goes to the end zone. Look at this. Pearsonell with a beautiful route just completely turns around to Quan Edwards. And Pearsonell finds the end zone for the 3rd week in a row. This guy is balling out this season. DeMornay Pearsonell. And it's about time Woodrum found the end zone himself. He's had a rough go today. But yeah, Pearsonell. 2nd touchdown of the season. On for the 2-point conversion. This is big. This is very big. Can they get an 8-point lead here? Woodrum to throw. Pressured, and he lost the football. That's picked up by Arizona. And with a chance to maybe take this all the way and pick up 2 points of their own, I don't know if he's going to get there. The defensive lineman, Woodrum, is catching up quick, and he's going to be taken down at the 35. Pelianu able to pick it up, so Salt Lake unable to convert. But man, you think, if, of course, you know, Pelianu has to pick up the football in front of him, but you'd think if someone else is there for Arizona, that would have been 2 points for the Hotshots. So now, Rick Neuheisel, after his defense really just played an excellent game. Salt Lake had 15 points, but they should have so much more. Again, they were handed the football twice inside Arizona's 40, and they only came away with 6 points from both of those. Right now, though, I think Salt Lake is kind of locked up this game. I don't have any faith in Wolford to get his team down the field, and that's sad because John Wolford has a lot of talent. He just hasn't really been able to put it together. And it comes back to some of those interceptions. Justin Stockton takes this short kick, tries to make a move, takes it to 30. So Arizona, plenty of time. Of course, you can't ever rule anything out from happening. I'm not trying to do that. But with the way John Wolford has looked today, and we're not going to get a look at his stat sheet, unfortunately, he's thrown through 2 picks. His completion percentage is maybe 50 at best. Probably around 45. He's got to find a way to put it together. This is as simple as that. 1st and 10 from the 30. Wolford to throw. All day, but he's going to be taken down again. Guess who? Tenny Palapoy. He had 4 sacks on him in week 1, and, yeah. Pretty sure Wolford, that one was a little bit reminiscent of what happened in week 1. Again, Wolford just hangs on to the football too long, and Palapoy just gets through. This offensive line, look at them. There's 3 guys there, and they're not blocking him. It's pathetic. 2nd and 17 now from the 24 in a game that is quickly slipping from the Hotshots' grasp. Down to about 6 minutes. Calls Mulaney in motion. Just gets the playoff. Back to throw is Wolford. Tries to get outside. That's complete. Rashad Ross. Actually, Freddie Martino, excuse me. Brings it to 32. Wolford finally hits 100 yards. He did not reach 100 yards in the first week. 3rd and 9. He only got about 8 yards. So, again, every time I turn around, Arizona is in a long 3rd down. It's just the way that they roll, I guess. And it's not working too well. They only have 9 points. 3rd and 9 from the 32. This is big. This could be the game. Wolford to throw. Guns it across the middle. He's got him in. It's complete. Gerald Christian, the tight end, takes it to the 48 of Salt Lake. So Wolford is able to convert, and the Hotshots. Big 3rd down conversion. The problem is, which is what they struggle with today, you can only have so many 3rd down conversions like that before you just don't pick one up. So that's a great play. But they've got to be like, look, we shouldn't be in this position in the first place. We should not be in these long 3rd downs. At least, if anything, be in a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 where it's manageable. But they've got to find a way to get 1st downs on 1st and 2nd down. 1st and 10 from the 48. Let's see what Neuheisel decides to call. His team is down by 6. A touchdown to 2 will potentially win them the game. Wolford guns it again deep, and that's knocked away. Gerald Christian, very similar play, but he's unable to hang on. 2nd and 10 now from the 48. Great defense from the Salt Lake defense that once again is just absolutely outstanding on all fronts. The defensive line, the linebackers, the defensive backs, the safeties. These guys are just playing absolutely lights out. It's incredible. 2nd and 10 from the 48. Wolford to throw. Got time, backing up, lets it go. He got him in, it's complete. Richard Mulaney finally gets a reception. Taken down to 34, so Arizona now starting to push the ball down the field. And who knows, this game is not over. Richard Mulaney, his first catch of the day, goes for 15. And that's the type of throws that Wolford needs to make happen more often. It's taking him almost all day. Maybe he's finally getting into a rhythm. Might be. I don't know. I mean, he made a couple nice throws right before his interceptions, so you never know. But 1st and 10 coming up from the 34. This is big. This is really, really big. Can Arizona keep this drive alive and score a touchdown? To throw is Wolford. Deep down the field. It is hauled in. What a grab by Connor Hamlet, the tight end. All the way down at the 12. So again, Arizona inside the 15 for the 3rd time today. This is a beautiful throw from Wolford, who is finally finding his rhythm. And it's a great catch by Hamlet. We usually see these receivers, after those big hits, drop it, but he's a tight end. Hangs on with a big collision, and now 1st and 10 from the 12. Anyone's ball game right now. It really is. 15-9. Salt Lake with the lead, but Arizona knocking on the door. See what the play call is. Will they stick with the air? They won't. Jarrell Presley on the ground. Stumbling and all the way down to the 3. Jarrell Presley with an amazing run brings up 2nd and 1. And what do you do if you're Arizona? If you score right, well, do you settle for 3? I mean, we're under 3 minutes in the game, so I'd say you probably just go for the touchdown no matter what. 2nd and 1 from the 3. Obviously, run play right now, I think. And there is a flag. And that hurts. That is devastating. Connor Hamlet, the tight end, who just had the big play. Now, it's 2nd and 11 from the 13. You basically have to score a touchdown. Wolford to throw. With time. Guns it. That's complete. Rashad Ross makes a move and takes it back down to the 4. My goodness, it could not really... I don't think it could get any more intense than this. 3rd and 2. They're going to have 2 shots at the end zone. Rashad Ross. A couple really nice moves to pick up some extra yardage, and he was just 1 move away from getting to the end zone. 2-minute warning, and it's 15-9, but this has been a pretty exciting game, and it's going to get more exciting from here. 3rd and 2 coming up. The Hotshots 1-1. Salt Lake, their home opener, the 2-0, trying to hang on and stay perfect on the season. We will see what happens. I really think Wolford should throw right now. Salt Lake's going to bring a lot of pressure. To throw is Wolford. Got time, he's got to get rid of it, he's not. Carter Schultz back at the 13, his 2nd sack of the day, and Wolford, we just continue to see Wolford hang on to the football. He doesn't sense the pressure, and he doesn't get rid of it. I don't know what he's thinking. Carter Schultz just gets right around, and also, offensive line doesn't help out much. 4th and 11, this is the game, from the 13. This has been a great march, but we'll see what happens. Wolford off play action, I don't know what that's going to do. Lets it go to the end zone, and it's tipped up and incomplete. Salt Lake stands strong. What a play. And that's probably going to end this ball game. Man. John Wolford is such a frustrating QB to watch in this league right now. He single-handedly just lost his team the game by taking that sack. And he had time to throw. So Josh Woodrum, 13 for 34, 171 yards and a touchdown. Those stats look good, with the exception of the 21 incompletions. But 1st and 10, minute 30. Arizona does have all 3 timeouts, so maybe their defense can make something happen, but it's very, very unlikely. And that's just so disappointing for the Hotshots. They're going to throw. It's complete. Sam Mobley to the 31, and wow. I was not expecting a pass. 15-9, but yeah, this game is over. Minute 25, and Arizona only has 2 timeouts now, so in all practicality, this game has ended. Looks like Salt Lake's going to advance to 3-0 after all. And it just goes back to John Wolford. He is to blame for this loss. Dropping a 1 and 2. Do you switch to another quarterback? Joe Bunyan trying to find a lane to the outside. He does. Finally taken down at the 47. So he's putting up some yarders now in garbage time. And yeah, this whole thing is just completely falling apart for Arizona here in the end. First and 10 coming up from the 47. And they're in victory formation. As this game is practically over, we'll just have to wait for Arizona to call one more timeout for no reason. What a game, though. And really, Arizona's defense is certainly not to blame for this loss. Even, they gave up the go-ahead touchdown to Salt Lake. But come on. They played such an excellent game, and this is a tough loss for them. They deserved to have a shot to win this game. They didn't have a shot to win this game. And John Wolford blew it. And Josh Woodrum ultimately got his team another win. It was messy. It was ugly. But Dennis Erickson is putting together a phenomenal team here in Salt Lake. And it's a team that I think can go all the way to the championship, without a doubt in my mind. Will it happen? I don't know. But they're starting this season 3-0. Very, very impressive. And I think, can they run out the clock? I think they can. Yeah, they can. But they are going to have to punt it, which might give Arizona one more play, but it's not really going to matter. They'll have to see if Rashad Ross can take it all the way, which is very unlikely. We have not had a punt return for a touchdown ever on the Simulated Network. So, Austin Record to punt it, and he doesn't even have to punt it. We'll see if he actually decides to. They will. No reason to snap this. And it goes out of bounds. Alright, that was smart. That'll end this game. Wow. So, the Arizona Hotshots on the road dropped to 1 and 2. Tough loss, 15-9. But how about those Stallions? They advanced to 3-0. Improved to 3-0, excuse me. Next week, they'll be facing off against the Orlando Apollos. Right now, they're 1-1. We don't know what their record will be going into next week. But next week, Arizona will be playing Atlanta, and they're going to need to bounce back in that game. They're going to need a big win. If they drop to 1 and 3, they're going to be in some deep trouble there in the AAF West. But they have been swept by Salt Lake. So now they're going to bank on the fact that they can maybe beat out San Diego and San Antonio. Salt Lake's pretty much locked it up against Arizona when it comes to the battle between these two teams. Salt Lake's won both games. So John Wolford, 2 interceptions, just some poor decisions, and just an absolute, just ridiculous decision to take the sack. Overall, just a tough loss for these teams. DeMorte Pierce-Chanel with the go-ahead touchdown to win it. For Salt Lake, it was an ugly game, defensive game, but it was fun. Lots of fun. Thank you for joining us here at the AAF Simulated. It was a ton of fun doing this, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to go check us out on Twitter. Make sure to give us a follow. Subscribe to our YouTube channel here. Make sure to just stay up to date with all the AAF Simulated stuff. Also, remember, there's an AAF Cheats down in the description below with all access to individual player stats, team stats, game stats, season standings, all that and more. So yeah, go check that out. One last thing, if you like what we do, if you like to support us financially, you can do so through the PayPal link in the description below. It'll be much appreciated. We spend a lot of time doing this, a lot of time and energy, and someone, you know, I'm a full-time college student. I work 3 jobs, so a few bucks here and there would be greatly appreciated. If you can. If you can't, that's totally fine. Just keep supporting us, doing what you're doing, watching our videos. Thank you so much for watching. Next game, I believe, is going to be Memphis and Orlando, so that should be a good one.